Good morning. So Kitsap County is still in phase one. They have permission from the state to apply for phase two. In fact, tomorrow, the Kitsap Health Board is going to meet virtually to discuss if they want to send in that application right now. But I'll get to more details on that in just a second. Let's talk about that one place here behind me. This is a restaurant that decided to open yesterday in protest of the uncertainty of this lockdown. They're looking for more direction. They called yesterday's protest peaceful, civil, and they said most importantly, non-political. Now, a post made on Sunday on the restaurant's Facebook page says it doesn't want to lose its license or face huge fines. But their Facebook post said, quote, "We want to show that human rights aren't political rights, and this lockdown is the opposite of the safety we desire in society." Now, the reaction on the restaurant's post there was mixed, but it did get a lot of reaction. Some people applauding and decided to come and eat for that one-day protest. Others were calling it a bad idea, saying they should follow this mandate just like everyone else. Now, if we go back to talking about moving into phase two, Kitsap County currently sits in phase one. As they move into phase two, that means places like restaurants, salons can open with restrictions, one of those being at 50% capacity. Now, tomorrow when the health board meets, what they're going to be looking at in order to move into phase two is what needs to happen. And that means an average of fewer than 10 cases per every 100,000 people for at least 2 weeks. So they're going to look at the county statistics, see if they meet that, and then they can send in that application to move into phase two. Again, restaurants, this business looking for some direction on what's happening next. Today, they're just open for takeout. Live in Port Orchard, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.